ladies and gentlemen, banning a rally on free speech is kind of peak Kirklees Council, don't you think? Only Kirklees could think that was a good idea, and I'm glad to say that the police force have got more sense than to seek to enforce such a ban. But then I'm standing in front of a for sale sign of Batley Police Station, which has been closed and sold for the paltry sum of £246,000 to a property developer for luxury flats. Of all places, of all things, the Batley Police Station has been closed and sold for the price of a chip shop. I'm investigating to whom it's been sold, and if I'm elected as the MP, I'll be investigating it even more deeply. And I'll be investigating why it was sold for such a low price. I intend to open the books in Kirklees if I get the chance to do so. Paul has just opened books tonight on this affair, which most people don't know about. And that's because neither the media nor the political class here has wanted the whole facts out into the open. We know the conclusion of the report into this affair, but we haven't seen the report. We want to see the report to work out whether or not they reached the right conclusion. And we can't do that until we have seen the report. I talk to Laurence Fox all the time, and I hope to talk to Paul more deeply. And let me just say, I wish he'd been standing in this by-election. It would have been a much fairer fight. This man's almost miraculous achievement last time will, I hope, bear fruit next time, because I'll not be standing next time. But I am standing this time, and so you deserve to know where I stand on the issue of free speech. There are limits to free speech, the libel law being one of them. I've made use of that from time to time. Incitement to hatred and so on, violence, incitement to disorder, shouting fire in a darkened cinema are all proscribed issues of free speech. But one of the reasons I talk with Laurence all the time is I abhor this cancel culture, where every person to the right of you is called far right, and if they are 2 steps to the right of you, they're called a fascist. Laurence Fox is neither of these 2 things, and neither is Paul Halloran. We have to be able to have respectful, even profound disagreements, without hating each other, without regarding each other as enemies, because as Laurence so sagely said in his speech, we are all British here. All of us are British here. I was trending on Sunday morning on Twitter as far right. Because I supported Brexit, I'm far right. Because I oppose the cancel culture, I'm far right. and there's far too much of it, and we must stand up and fight it. We must fight for everyone's right to a point of view, including the teacher in the Batley Grammar School, who from Paul's account has been shamefully betrayed by those people above him in the chain of command in the local education area. If it's the case, as Paul said, that no image was shown in the classroom, then what was this all about? There is no proscription, even in the Islamic religion, to talking about depictions. I've just done it, and no one yet has stoned me for doing so. If there was no image in that lesson, then what was this all about? With such tragic consequences, not just for the family and the teacher, but for the reputation of this area. Already, we have one dark cloud over us, because here, a member of Parliament was cruelly murdered on the streets whilst exercising her public duties. And now we've got another one, the Batley Grammar issue. We want this place to be recognised in Britain and beyond for something better than those two things. And so we need a political class that has some brains and has some courage. Those lions, the lion and the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, strike me as a fair depiction of the political representation we've had around here. Labour are complaining there's a by-election, but it was them that caused the by-election. It was their MP doubling her money and going on to what she thought was a better job than the lowly task of representing this constituency in the House of Commons. Well, she may not have represented you. She's certainly flown the course. She's bolted and is now being even more handsomely remunerated for doing so. I am very concerned about what's taught in the schools. Some of you won't like this. I'm the father of 5 school-age children. And I don't want my young children at primary school, aged 7 and 9, taught about sex. I don't want them taught how to masturbate. I don't want them taught about anal sex. I don't want them taught that there's 99 genders. I don't want them taught that men can become women by the mere act of declaring themselves to be and end up in an Olympic team beating the actual girls and the actual women. I don't want them taught that parents chest feed when in fact it's women who breastfeed. Glory to women. Women hold up half the sky. This kind of woke, liberal identity politics is anathema to me. So I want parents' views on what their children are taught and when they're taught it to be taken properly into account. And in this area, that is not happening. We have a council so stupid, they sold a police station and tried to ban a free speech rally. Napoleon said that war is too important to be left to generals. Well, education is too important to be left to Mufti Pandor, Councillor Pandor, or teachers, or head teachers. We, the parents, have to have our wishes properly taken into account on the curriculum. In religious education, in PSE, in the way our history of our country is taught, so that our children are not taught to hate their own country, to think their own country is the worst country in the world, when in fact it's the best country in the world in which to live, which is why so many people want to come and live in it. I've gone on perhaps too long. I could have sent you a message. I could have sent you an email. Or like the Scarlet Pimpernel standing for the Tory party, I could have just disappeared. But Laurence Fox invited me. Paul Halloran invited me. And it's my honour to stand on this platform with them. Thank you very much indeed.